overarching missions, not only for 2 nations, but for the whole of Africa. This is important because even our political liberation will make no sense if this mission remains unaccomplished. For we shall remain dependent on economic power of nations. Therefore, as a friendly and brotherly nations, we must direct our effort towards economic liberations. That is only directions left ahead of us, and we have no other choice. As such, this business forum must bring us together in a view to diverging on implementation concrete strategies for a more profound cooperation in the domain of trade and investment. Indeed, our shared history has taught us to work closely. Let us continue in the same directions. Your Excellency President Ramaphosa, honorable readers, distinguished participants, in 2018, the volume of trade between our nations amounted to $1,180.2 million US, where Tanzania imported goods and services worth $437.2 million in 2017. On the other hand, the export value from Tanzania to South Africa accounted for $743.02 million in 2018, being an increase by 6.8% compared to $699.791 million in 2017. Based on these statistics, South Africa ranks second among the leading country destinations of Tanzania's export, with a 16.7% share of all our export commodities. In the same vein, more than 70% of all Tanzanians' export to SADC go to South Africa. The main exports from Tanzania to South Africa include minerals, especially gold, tobacco, wheat flour, simsim, coffee, cereals, spices from Zanzibar, fruits, and vegetables. Tanzanians' major imports include various types of machineries, electric equipments, beverage, sugar, rubber, cosmetic, detergents, vehicle, plastic, 0.05 million, availing 21,075 employment opportunities, making it the 13th largest investors in Tanzania. Your Excellencies, President Ramaphosa, honorable readers, distinguished participants, a quick assessment of the few statistics that I have just presented attest to the strength of our cooperations in trade and investment, and that this cooperation has been growing year after year. Furthermore, the balance of trade between our nations is yet another indicator of our close cooperations. Certainly, these achievements are ascribed to our long-standing diplomatic, political, and economic ties. Despite this achievement, a lot of trade and investment potentials remain unexploited. In fact, if we fully utilize all the available opportunities, our bilateral trade and investment cooperation would attain a new and unprecedented height. The industrial sector presents a major investment opportunity which is full aligned with the visions of the current 50th government. It is a fact that manufactured goods is still very low. And so is its contributions to the nation's gross product, GDP, it is actually less than 15%. Therefore, as a nation, we are determined to pull out of our country and finished goods imported from abroad. We won't fabricate textile from our cotton to process meat. Actually, Tanzania is the second largest amount of animals after Ethiopia. To fabricate leather materials using our livestock, to process fish from our ocean, lakes, rivers, and ponds, to produce sugar and edible oil using our locally available produce, and etc. Our ultimate goal is to reach a stage where we can process all our primary goods and eventually abandon the current practice of exporting raw material from our country. Exporting raw material means you are also exporting jobs. In line with this above argument, I recognize that South Africa is one of the major buyers of minerals and precious stones from Tanzania. We invite you to build mineral smelters and refineries in order to add value to the mineral product prior to the exportations. I'm certain that you have the necessary technology and the donors are open for the door are open for investment in this area. And I'm really assuring you the door is open and will continue to be open for this area. Of particular importance is that the issue of investment in pharmaceutical industries. Our country, and I believe this is the case with the other SADC countries, spend a lot of foreign exchange for importations of medical supplies. I have mentioned this during our discussion with President Ramaphosa. This is due to lack of pharmaceutical industries. At present, our medical stores department has been given the mandate by the Global Fund to procure medical supplies for all SADC member countries. It is, however, unfortunate that 94% of the medical supplies are imported from abroad. We have failed to fully utilize this opportunity due to industrial backwardness. We thus invite all serious investors from South Africa to invest in the industrial sector, including the pharmaceutical industries. Our major focus resides on industries that utilize the locally available primary goods. It goes without saying that South Africa is far more advanced in terms of industrial technology compared to many African countries. So the room is there for you. It is therefore important and useful to share experiences and utilize the available technology to develop the industrial sector in Africa, and more so in the SADC sub-regions. Your Excellency, President Ramaphosa, ladies and gentlemen, tourism is another area with huge investment potentials. For those who might not be aware, Tanzania ranks second in the world of number of tourist attractions behind Brazil. However, these attractions have not been developed and fully utilized to contribute the right share to the GDP. It is in these recognitions the government is undertaking a concerted effort to promote the tourist sector by focusing on all tourist circuits, the northern, the southern, and the northwest circuit. For instance, we have recently established 3 new national parks in the northwest circuit, and another one is due to be established in the southern circuit. Efforts are also being undertaken to develop beach tourism along the coast of Indian Ocean, with the coastline covering 1,424 kilometers. Measures are also underway to develop sports, culture, and historical tourism In this regard, we call for investors from South Africa to invest especially in tourist infrastructure, including hotels, camps, transport, and etc., both in the mainlands and the If time so permit, please visit some of our tourist attractions. Do not only for the enjoyment, but also for exploring and identifying areas for investment. Your Excellencies, it is clear that South Africa has made great strides in field of motor assembly. When I came to your country during the inauguration ceremony of my brother, His Excellency Ramaphosa, I was able to see myself the advancement you have attained in motor assembly technology and how you encourage your people to purchase vehicles assembled in South Africa. In fact, I did not see old vehicles causing noise and air pollution on the road, especially for those roads which I used during the time when I was in South Africa. We also invited serious stakeholders, all business people from South Africa, assembly industries in our country. The market is huge and readily available. Your Excellency President Ramaphosa, honorable leaders, I have so far pointed out some investment opportunities available in our country. At this juncture, I deem it important to explain very briefly effort being undertaken by the government to create a conducive environment for trade and investment. First and most importantly, the government has established a new ministry specifically responsible for investment under the Prime Minister's office. Secondly, in order to promote industries and investment, we have set export processing zone and special economic zones. We have further continued to put in place enabling infrastructure, including the implementation of various energy projects in order to reduce production cost. One of them is the flagship project of Nyerere Dam in Rufiji Basin, coast regions, which will generate 2,115 megawatts. We have also undertaken to develop transports and transportation infrastructure, including road, air, water, and railway transport. Regarding air transport, we have revamped our national carrier, Air Tanzania, and as you might have witnessed, we have recently established direct flight to South Africa. This direct flight is scheduled 4 times a week. This arrangement will facilitate not only trade and investment, but also promote tourism between our countries. In line with that, airports are being expanded. I am sure you have seen it. Roads are constructed all over the country. Marine ports are being expanded and a new ship constructed. Most importantly, we are constructing a standard gauge railway covering 1,800 kilometers from Dar es Salaam to Mwanza, Kigoma regional, and then the railway line will later connect our neighboring Burundi and Rwanda. Large, open to all and international. In this, all investors not to head to street propaganda that our country is not investors friendly. Those are empty words uttered by individuals with ill intentions against our nation. This government is a great friend of all investors. Above all, Tanzania is a peaceful country and a politically stable. The investment environment is therefore predictable. Do not be deceived. President Ramaphosa, honorable readers, members, to keep in touch. but it is also possible that no concrete actions follow thereafter. In fact, some participants may end up getting girlfriends or boyfriends instead of establishing business relations. That said, I do intend to stop you from getting girlfriends and boyfriends, but I just wanted to summarize my message in the following terms. 1, your discussion must focus on concrete issues rather than generalities of which no implementation can be affected. 2, upon the conclusions of the forum, secure business partners and reach some concrete preliminary arrangement. Number 3, identify areas of trade and investment and prepare for implementation. Without concrete resolutions and a follow-up for implementation, this forum might not yield intended results. After this remark, I wish you a successful forum and a fruitful deliberations for the mutual benefits of our both country and their people. May God bless you all. Thank you for your kind attention. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza.
Naomba tumpigie makofi mengi sana Mheshimiwa Rais kwa heshima. Naomba sasa ni Mheshimiwa Innocent Bashungwa Mbunge, Waziri wa Viwanda na Biashara kutoka Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, aweze kuja na kumkaribisha Mheshimiwa Cyril Ramaphosa, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Afrika Kusini. Mheshimiwa Waziri, karibu.
Waheshimiwa marais, kwa heshima na taazima, naomba nitumie fursa hii kumkaribisha Mheshimiwa Rais Cyril Ramaphosa aweze kutuhutubia. Mheshimiwa Rais, karibu sana.
Program Director, Your Excellency President John Magufuli, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers from both South Africa and Tanzania, business leaders, leaders of government institutions, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. I'd like to first express my gratitude to all of you who have taken time to come to this business forum. This is one of the most well-attended business forums that I have been to in my humble view. Thank you very much. We are pleased to be in your beautiful country, President Magufuli. We as South Africans also come from a very beautiful country. But because Tanzania and the people of Tanzania carved a very historic place for their country to be regarded as the Mecca of the struggle, it has been whispered to me that God is about to decide which one of the two countries is the most beautiful. And I'll whisper it to you during the dinner tonight, President Magufuli. So you might be able to get another accolade as a country. But I have no doubt it will be said that Having said that, allow me, Your Excellency, to pass on our condolences to the families and to the people of Tanzania following the devastating disaster that led to the deaths of more than 70 people. We wish the families of those who have lost their loved ones strength as they go through this valley of darkness, as they come to terms with their loss. But we also wish those who are still in hospital a good recovery. South Africa and Tanzania are bound together by a shared history and a shared vision of a united and prosperous Africa. We can never express our gratitude enough as South Africans for the support that you gave us as a country during our days of struggle, during our most difficult period in the history of our country. You accommodated us, you trained us, you supported us in many, many ways, and you even made enormous sacrifices. And for this we are eternally grateful. We're eternally grateful, and that is why the bonds between us are not only historic, but they are also the bonds of blood, and we thank you for this. So we've been bound together over decades by a spirit of selflessness, solidarity, and struggle. These attributes have helped us to forge a partnership that has withstood the brutality of the apartheid system and the arrogance of colonial domination. After centuries of exploitation and oppression, our continent is today free from external political dominance, thanks to the selfless sacrifices of those who have gone before us. We are therefore honored to set foot here on the soil of the United Republic of Tanzania, a country that has always been at the forefront of the struggle for the emancipation of the African. Today will further strengthen the strong historic bonds between our two nations. We trust that our presence here today will enable our two countries to strengthen cooperation in every sphere of life towards the attainment of national, regional, and continental aspirations. The recent launch of the operationalization of the African Continental Free Trade Area, an ambitious initiative to integrate the economies of this continent, provides a further opportunity for our two countries to cooperate for the mutual benefit of our people. We are therefore eager to explore how, as governments, we can work together with our respective business communities to achieve inclusive growth and development. This initiative makes manifest the timeless words of the late President Julius Nyerere when he said, "Without unity, there is no future for Africa." The achievement of consensus amongst African countries on the Continental Free Trade Area is a sign of the future that is to come, of a transformative Africa built on the principle of growth. Over the coming decades, the population of our continent will grow to well over 1 billion people. The population of cities and universities will expand at an even greater rate, and by 2030, African consumers will spend well over $2.5 trillion US. The resultant boom, unprecedented opportunity to leverage this demographic dividend to promote rapid industrialization and development. By realizing this opportunity and grabbing it, it is possible that we will be able to remove the difficulties and deal with those difficulties that we have had in the past. But in order to do so, we will have to remove barriers that prevent business from thriving. Our own country is currently going through a low cycle of growth. In our engagement with the business community, who in our country represent 70% of the broad size of our economy, the other 30 being represented by state-owned enterprises. As we have engaged with them, they have cited a number of reasons why we may be growing at such a low rate. And some of those reasons they have cited have been policy uncertainty and inconsistency. They have extolled us to remove business from investing and to enhance the ease of doing business and establish one-stop offices that will ensure that the arbitrariness in the application of laws and regulation and the bureaucracy that seeps in to impede business confidence is done away with. We have paid heed to these concerns and have found that by paying attention to these matters actually increases the confidence of business people in doing business in our country. Some of the issues that they had raised with us were fairly simple and straightforward things, such as visa regulations. They said the visa regulations that we've got are too stringent, and as a result, they prevent not only tourists from coming to South Africa, but they also prevent business travelers, executives and managers from coming to South Africa easily. And they have said to us, remove all these barriers and you will see that your economy will begin to respond in a positive way. They have also said, and they identified a number of reasons, and they have also said the arbitrariness of government officials in stopping businesses from growing is something that we should pay attention to. And they cited examples like in the mining industry, for instance, an official will just arrive after a worker has been injured on the finger or in the hand and shut down the mine for the whole day. And they've said, that is too arbitrary. You should not do that because that kills business confidence. And they say increase business confidence and increase their trust in your ability to apply the laws of the land, and you will see that business confidence will increase. This is what we are about now. We are involved in a mission to increase business confidence because we want to attract a lot of these people with a lot of money to come to South Africa to invest. So the creation of a conducive environment for investment is therefore essential for economic growth and job creation. All this can only be achieved through cooperation between business and government, where each party heeds each other's concerns. Where the business sector also does pay heed to the concerns that the government has to say, and vice versa. As we take steps to address these economic challenges that our country faces, we are forging stronger relations with business, but not only with business, with labor as well, and community-based organizations, so that we can tackle job creation and ensure that there is social justice across a number of areas of human endeavor. To generate our economy and to put our country on a growth trajectory, we have decided to focus on a number of key priorities. The one is to transform the economy of our country and create jobs. The other one is to focus on education and skills and health, and to consolidate the social wage through reliable and quality basic services that we want to continue making available to the people of our country. We also are focusing on human settlements and the spatial integration in our country and strengthening the various levels of government, particularly government at local level, which is the real reciprocity of investment. Because when investors invest, they don't invest at State House or, in our case, at the union buildings. They invest at the local level, and that is the area that we want to strengthen. But we also want to ensure that we promote social cohesion in our country and unite the South African nation into a united nation that will tackle the challenges that we face. But another important area is to create a capable developmental state that will tackle incidents of corruption and make sure that we rid our country of corrupt activities and corrupt people. But more importantly, we are focused on another key priority, which is to create a better Africa and a better world. Our focus is to be Pan-African, is to ensure that whatever we do, we will focus on South Africa, no doubt, but focus on our continent as well. And it is for this reason that we felt honored to be invited here, because this is part of our process on ensuring that we unite our efforts in the two countries so that we can tackle economic growth together. Now, through these measures, we are convinced that growth will be the derivative that will flow from our efforts in this regard. South Africa is ready and prepared to craft a new partnership model with Tanzania, where government and business work together to clear the way for more investment to flow between our two countries. I'm therefore extremely pleased that specific project ideas have been presented and discussed during the course of this business forum. Last year, trade between our two countries amounted to $470 million US, with South Africa being the largest purchaser of Tanzanian exports. South African firms are among the top 5 largest investors in Tanzania, operating in areas like mining, manufacturing, finance, ICT, and telecoms. President Magufuli informed me that there are some 228 South African companies operating in Tanzania. We are naturally very pleased about this. We also want a number of Tanzanian companies to come and invest in South Africa. Let us match each other as we cross-invest in each other's economies. We confirm that these South African businesses operating here have taken advantage of the wonderful relationship that exists between the government of Tanzania and South Africa. We have reinforced strong. We recognize that to strengthen our economic ties, we must redouble our efforts to promote the industrialization between our two countries and across the African continent. We must learn from the lessons of other regions in the world where imbalanced development has limited the impact of regional integration and threatened the longevity of regional blocs. No industrialization. The SADC Industrialization Strategy Roadmap and Action Plan represent a base from which our two countries must identify and invest in the value chains that have the greatest potential to drive growth and employment. This will require that we naturally expand our efforts in developing appropriate infrastructure, improving the movement of goods across borders, and building the skills and technology to compete in an increasingly digitized global economy. These efforts will unlock enormous value for our business communities. Investments projects will improve the business environment. There is just no doubt about that. But they will also stimulate economic activity and could be used to drive African manufacturing. It is estimated that Africa will need to invest between in country. This means solving outstanding border bottlenecks and cooperating to align our customs and inspection systems. Trucks that are traveling between South Africa and Tanzania tend to spend a significant amount of time, offer a drastically expanded horizon for African trade and investments, and they also offer the potential for development on a regional productive hub that can be leveraged to compete globally. While the African Free Trade Area Agreement is the first priority, the real work must then begin to ensure that the agreement is implemented and firms are supported to use the available preferences. Now, alongside investment in infrastructure, we need, as a people, to work together to invest in the youth of our countries. The youth of our countries are the future of our continent. For the Continental Free Trade Area to succeed, we are going to need those young people to be skilled and to have a knowledge base that will enable them to build competitive industries and to open up new economic frontiers. They are the ones who will inherit the success and the progress that will be yielded by this new free trade agreement. As companies invest, they need to be encouraged to promote the development of local skills and capabilities, not only to sustain their own enterprises, but to also develop the local economies on which business growth depends. Africa has great challenges, but it is also a vast continent of great unprecedented opportunity. Now, the whole world is looking at Africa to be the next growth story in the economies of the world. And we, as Africans, better get ready. We better get ready to reap this great benefit that we are going to, because we are the ones who are going to be leading in the creation of new technologies. We are the ones who are possibly going to be the factory of the whole world, just as China has been the factory of the world. and more we are going to inherit that mantle, and we better be ready, and our companies sitting here better be ready for this new frontier that is approaching us. It is ours. The hour for Africa has arrived. Now, even as we do this, we have no doubt about the difficulties involved in trying to get onto this platform. Our objective to build thriving, integrated, and inclusive economies will require the work of a generation. But this is work worth doing, and this is a future worth building. Together we fought colonialism, and together we fought apartheid, a horribly evil, oppressive system. We fought both evils and defeated them. Now together, we now have the great opportunity to build a prosperous future for the people of Tanzania and for the people of South Africa, and indeed for the people of our continent as a whole. Let us take this opportunity and make it real. Thank you very much.
Naomba tupige makofi mengi, kumpongeze na kumshukuru kwa makofi mengi Mheshimiwa Cyril Ramaphosa, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Afrika Kusini. Naomba tuketi. Waheshimiwa marais, kwa mujibu wa ratiba, kinachofuata sasa ni itifaki ya picha, na kwa heshima kubwa
Basi mtazamaji wa TBC1, Rais Cyril Ramaphosa wa Afrika Kusini amemaliza kutoa hotuba yake hapa katika jukwaa hili la biashara, na kikubwa ambacho amekisisitiza ni pamoja na kudumisha ushirikiano wa nchi, ukanda na bara zima la Afrika, lakini pia akisisitiza serikali za mataifa haya mawili kufanya kazi na sekta za kibiashara, akitolea mfano katika taifa lake uchumi mkubwa umewezeshwa na uwezeshaji wa sekta hizo za kibiashara. Lakini pia amesisitiza kuhusiana na biashara huria, kutumia soko kutokana na ongezeko la watu ambalo linatarajiwa kuwa ni kubwa. Kwa hiyo itasaidia pia kupata soko la bidhaa zitakazozalishwa na viwanda katika mataifa haya. Lakini pia amegusia swala zima la kuondoa vikwazo vya kibiashara ili kuwezesha ufanyaji biashara mzuri na kuweka vituo vya pamoja vya forodha ili kuweza kurahisisha sasa uwekezaji katika mataifa haya. Swala zima lingine ambalo amegusia ni swala zima la mapambano dhidi ya rushwa, lakini